Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into one of the biggest questions there is. What is reality? We're going to go on a journey through humanity's long search for the truth and check out the incredible tools, these lenses we've built to try and see it all a little more clearly.
So, let's jump right into the deep end. The world you experience every day, everything you see, hear, and touch, is that what's actually out there? Or is it more like a personalized translation, a version of reality cooked up just for you? This is a puzzle that's kept people up at night for centuries.
Okay, so our story really kicks off with the 18th century philosopher Immanuel Kant. Now, this guy triggered what's basically a Copernican revolution in philosophy. He came along and said, hold on, we don't just passively soak up the world like a sponge. Our minds are actively building our experience of it.
To get his point across, Kant came up with two really big ideas. First, you got the noumenal world. Think of this as reality in its raw, unfiltered state, the thing in itself. He argued we can never, ever get to that directly. And then there's the phenomenal world. That's the world as we actually experience it, after our minds have already shaped it with built-in concepts like space, time, and cause and effect. Kant had this brilliant analogy. He said it's like we're all born wearing a pair of spectacles that we can never, ever take off. These glasses color and shape everything we perceive. We can try to understand the spectacles themselves, figure out how they work, but we can never see the world without them. For Kant, that's just the human condition.
But what if this whole focus on what's happening inside our heads is missing the point? Let's flip the script and explore a really powerful counterargument. The idea that reality isn't some picture for us to interpret, but an objective, material process that's happening all on its own.
And that brings us to the materialist view, which was really championed by thinkers like Friedrich Engels. For him, the universe wasn't some static thing waiting for us to look at it. Nope, it's an endless cycle of matter in motion. From this perspective, reality doesn't need an audience. It just is, following its own objective laws of change and development.
So you see the massive shift here, right? Instead of trying to analyze the spectacles inside our own minds, this viewpoint says the real goal is to understand the external laws that govern everything, from the formation of stars to the rise and fall of societies. We're not just observers. We are a part of this whole dynamic process.
Now, believe it or not, this philosophical tug-of-war isn't just some dusty old debate. It is playing out right now in a very real way at the heart of science itself. It's a crisis all about our quest to forge a better, more trustworthy lens for looking at the world.
You can see this battle of lenses perfectly in the world of statistics. For 250 years, two main camps have been going at it. On one side, you have frequentism. It dominated the 20th century and says probability is all about long-run frequency. Flip a coin 1,000,000 times and see what happens. But then you have Bayesianism, which says probability is a degree of belief that you can update as you get more evidence. It's a fundamental fight over what our statistical lens should even be looking at.
And let me tell you, this is way more than just an academic argument. Our over-reliance on some of these statistical methods has helped fuel what's now called the replication crisis. We're finding that major scientific findings in fields like psychology and medicine just can't be reproduced. It's exposed how things like p-hacking, which is basically torturing your data until it confesses to something, can make our scientific lens really flawed.
So while some of these lenses are purely conceptual, like statistics, others are, well, they're massively physical. To look at reality at the most fundamental level, we build these absolutely mind-boggling instruments. Just look at the CMS detector at CERN. To hunt down the Higgs boson, scientists literally built a 14,000-ton camera, a physical lens of just unbelievable precision, to capture the universe's deepest secrets.
And that brings us to our most modern lens. What if, instead of just making our own tools better, we could build a whole new kind of mind, an artificial one, to look at reality for us? This is both the promise and the puzzle of modern AI.
So how do you actually go about building an artificial mind? Well, today's AI systems are being designed with structures that kind of mimic our own brains. They mix deep learning for perception, huge language models for abstraction and understanding, and rule engines for logical reasoning. The big goal here is to create what researchers call an internal world model, the AI's very own picture of how reality works.
And these AI world models are definitely not just theoretical anymore. They are being rolled out everywhere, in pretty much every sector you can think of. From finding new drugs to running entire factories, we are putting more and more trust in these artificial lenses to make sense of the world for us.
So,
This whole journey, from philosophy to particle physics, all the way to AI, has brought us right back where we started. We're staring down Kant's original problem all over again, but this time with a serious 21st century twist.
And this forces us to ask the really big question. Are these incredibly powerful AI systems finally giving us that pure, unfiltered look at the thing in itself? Or have we just managed to build the most complicated, the most powerful, and the most convincing pair of Kantian spectacles that has ever existed?
And that's really the profound mystery we're left with, isn't it? We can keep building better and better lenses. We can do it through philosophy, through new kinds of statistics, through 14,000-ton detectors, and through artificial intelligence. But after all that work, are we really getting closer to raw reality? Or are we just getting better at creating more and more sophisticated illusions? The true thing in itself might just forever be out of our reach.